Hi y'all, welcome back to Illinois Honeycomb Homestead. Today we are canning up a lot of fruit. Now, as you remember, I did some fruit a few weeks ago or a week ago, I don't know. But I've been going through my pantry, finding all type of fruit. And I'm going to recan this fruit. I got fruit up in the freezer. We're going to just be going through some fruit today. So if you want to watch how I do a whole multitude of fruit, stay tuned. Okay, y'all. So what I have going on right here are all the cans. Okay. And what I'm doing is I'm not saving none of this juice. It's got extra light. It's got heavy. It's got none at all as far as the syrup. I do not want none of that syrup. So I am catching it with this strainer. And I'm doing just this right here. I'm putting this in this sense like that. And I am straining the juice. As you can see, I got in this bowl. And I'm going to show you the pot that I'm putting this stuff in. Let me show you. You see this right here? Okay, bring it in a little closer. You see this? So I'm putting all the fruit in this pot. Okay, all of the fruit. And I'm just straining it in this strainer. And I'm putting all the fruits in there just like that. Okay? And I'm going to show you what else I'm going to put in here as well. Now, like I told you, now this is all fruit. And when I say I got fruit, I have fruit. Now, I have people that done brought stuff by here. I got to can this stuff up. I don't want it to go bad or anything like that. So the other one is this. If you have fruit cups, you can use fruit cups. And this is also going in there. And this is also called the Peach Passion. Okay. You've seen these little peach cups. You get some for your kids and stuff. They come in a pack and stuff like that. I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to strain it and put it right into this pot. Okay. It's going to be a whole big old fruit cocktail. This is another way that you can save money from buying fresh fruits if you hadn't made it to your farmer's market. If it's too high in the store, you can also use stuff like this and those cans. Like I was telling you, I strain all the juice out of all of that stuff when I can this up. And that's, you know, because I want to make my own syrup. I want to make my own little syrup that instead of having the syrup that comes with this, okay? Because you can make it light. You can have it just with water. If you want it, just use water. And you can have a heavy syrup with a lot of sugar in it. It's all up to you. You can do it the way you want to. And that's why I strain that juice out. Plus, it's been sitting, you know, on the counter in the store. You don't know how long it's been sitting there. You know what I'm saying? So it's good just to have a clean slate with it by making your own syrup. Okay? Your own. So I'm going to go ahead and not cut these up. Strain these and put these in a pot. And then I'll show you what we're going to do next with this fruit. Okay? Okay, y'all. Now this is what's going on. I got the pot sitting on top of this stove. I'm getting ready to stir all this stuff up. Okay? It's going to break down because it's got some excess juice coming straight from the fruit. And that's what you want. Okay? You want that juice to kind of sweat itself. So you're going to turn it on the heat. Burner or whatever. If you don't have fire, electric. You want to put it on a medium low. Right? So you can just start getting this fruit to get hot. Okay? You don't want it to scorch. You don't want it to do any of that. You just want some of that juice to break on down because you want your fruit to be starting to get hot. Okay? And then over here is my rind. And I'm going to tell you how much sugar and how much water I put in here. So that way I can have that to go in with my fruit. Okay? And then we're going to put this over into this. Okay? The sugar is just about dissolved in here, and we're going to put it over in here. So I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. Okay, so while we was over there at the stove, I put all that fruit into a pot. And then you seen that I had my rind in there. Okay, my sugar water. Now, if you have a book, this book here, losing all my notes. My little recipes. Let me get this right. So, if you see this book here, I'm telling you, y'all have to get this book. Got to get this book right here. Got to get it. Okay, because I have this recipe in this book. The summer fruit cocktail, that's in this book. It also tells you in this book how much syrup, you can make out of there. You can have a heavy syrup. You can have light syrup. You can have none at all. You could just use water. Okay? And also, what I was going to tell you, that in this book, when I was telling you about the syrup and everything, the syrup that I made up, or the amount that I made up with the sugar and water, okay, is going to yield up to 7 cups. Okay, so I'm going to be able to have at least 7 scoops out of there for 7 pints or whatever that I'm using. Okay, if I have to double the recipe, if there's more left, I'll have to just make some more of that syrup. Okay, but it's going to hold 7 cups. And the type of syrup that I'm going to be using is a light syrup, a light or a medium syrup. Okay, so the light syrup is 2 1/4 cups of sugar, and you're going to need 5 to 1/4 cups of water. Okay, and that's what I used. I'm using a light syrup, Medium calls for 3 1/4 cups of sugar and 5 cups of water. Okay, and it goes on and on and on. So that's how you can make your syrups. And you just add your water and you just add your sugar. You could go by the taste as well. Okay, all right, let's get to it. Okay, honeybees, so now that I got my syrup good and ready, is over here. Okay, and it's gonna fill on the way up. Okay, now where you want this to be at is on high. Okay, you want to start turning your eye up on high now, because now you have your water in there along with your sugar and along with the juices that came with your fruit. You know what I'm saying? That broke down from the heat. Okay, and you want it to start boiling. You want it to come to a good boil, and you want it to go to a good rumbling boil. And when it gets to that good rolling boil for a good 5 minutes, okay, then you're going to turn down the heat, or the electric stove. If you have an electric stove, you're going to turn down that heat and let it simmer for 5 minutes. Okay, for 5 minutes. All right. At this time, if you ain't have no jars cleaned up or anything like that, make sure that's the first thing that you do when you get ready to start canning up your stuff, so you won't have to worry about doing it right now. Okay, wash with soap and water, rinse with some hot water, and then when it's time to fill your jars up, since it's going to be a long canning process for on the elevation that I am, that's 25 minutes, is going to, go ahead and sterilize the jars as well too by going through that run, because it takes 15 minutes to sterilize your jar. So if your time and your elevation is not 25 minutes and it's less than that, then you need to go ahead and set them in some hot water and let them be in that hot water for a good 10 to 15 minutes so it can go through its sterilization process. Okay, so right now I have some hot jars. I also have a hot pot of fruit over there, because you want everything to be hot. And I also have my canner. My water in that canner is good and hot as well too. So what we're getting ready to do now is bring that pot over here. In about another 5 minutes, I'll come back on the camera and we're going to start filling up our jars to get canned up. Okay. Okay, y'all. So I got my jars. They're good and hot. You're going to need you a funnel and you're going to need your jar lifter, because these are very hot to get ready to move over. Okay, so I have my pint jars in front of these quart jars, and I'll show you what it looks like when we get done. Okay, I can turn this around, maybe, I don't know, because this whole thing is hot. I'll show you the finishing product. Go ahead. And you're going to also need a ladle as well. Okay, so I'm going to bring this hot pot on over, and we're going to start filling up these jars with the juice. And you want a 1/2 inch headspace. You also want to have you on the side some vinegar and a paper towel or a rag to wipe your rims, so that way you won't have no sticky residue on the top of your rims. And this is all you have to do, y'all. This is it. And this is about as simple as it's gonna get. So if you don't have any fruit in your pantry or anything like that, you can go to the store and get you some number 10 cans and have them at bay as well, and do the same thing with it as well. You can use the juice if you want to. I just choose not to use any of that juice. I want to make my own syrup juice for mine. Why? I'm diabetic and I don't require a whole lot of sugar. You know, just a little light, real light sugar. You know what I'm saying? And I have family that's also diabetic as well. So, yeah, this is about as good as it gets. You know, if that makes sense. So, yeah. You'll do that, and when I get these in, I'll show you what it looks like after I get these jars filled up. My pint-sized jars. All right. Okay, honeykeys, I was able to get 7 pints out of this, and them jars are still hot. So you're going to need you a side of vinegar, and you want to wipe your jars clean. And while you're wiping, you want to make sure all the sticky water is up off of your jars lids. Okay? And you also are checking for cracks on those rims too. You're checking on that too. So we're going to wipe every one of these. Okay? Jars are hot. Make sure all the sugar is off of the rims. And then you're going to start taking your lids and your bands. And these are good and hot and sanitized. They're warm now, but they were sanitized as well. And you want to do fingertip tight. And I got them inside of this so that way it's not touching nothing else. And this is the fruit cocktail, y'all. The fruit cocktail. They have this recipe in the book that I was showing you, and you can get the book on Amazon. It's not real expensive, but they have a lot of these recipes in here to make syrups and jams and jelly and all that good stuff in here. Okay. So everything is finger tight, and I'm going to take you over here to the stove, and that way you'll see them all in, and we're going to go ahead and process these. So we got all 7 pints in our steam canner. We're getting ready to put the lid on. Make sure you got your 2.5 quarts of water in here. Make sure that the vent is in the back so you won't get steam burnt on your face. You want to have the logo lined up with your thermostat here, and we're going to turn this on up to 9. The water is already hot, the jars were already hot, and the fruit cocktail was hot. Okay, so when this finish is run, I will be back with my elevation. It's 25 minutes, and I'll come back when this is done. Okay, honeybees, so as you've seen it, it is round 2. And this time we're going to be doing the pears. Okay, we're going to do it the same way, only I got some juice left over from doing that fruit cocktail. And so while that's still going through its process, we're going to be working on these pears. I'm going to strain the juice from these pears and put those pears over into that juice right there because it's a light syrup. Yes, I am. You can do your own. You can do your own. But I'm going to use that same juice because I still got a lot of juice. I'm not wasting it. Okay? So guess what? We're going to put that with the pears, and we're going to can that up as well. And we're going to see what we can get out of those 3 pears. Okay? Stay tuned. Okay, y'all. Okay, y'all. I changed my mind about the pears and the juice. I kept that juice over there because I'm going to put that with the apricots that I have next on round 3. So I made my own little syrup for that pear juice again, and this time I used a half a cup, dang, can't even talk, a half a cup of sugar and 4 cups of water. That's it. Okay, and because of the little amount that I have, and I'm going to see how many I can get into these. I hope it makes these 3 pints that I have, because that's what I have left is 3 pints, and then we're going to start working with the quarts, okay? So right now, that's what I have is the pints, and I'm going to turn this bad boy on up with the pears and let it start boiling like I did with the cocktail, and after that, we're going to let it simmer on down for those 5 minutes, and then after those 5 minutes I will be bringing in your cocktail so you can see what that looks like as we're getting ready to can up the pears, if that makes sense. I know I'm all over the place, I know, but I told you I was going to get these fruits done. I told you I was going to get the fruit done. Okay, now the 5 minutes is up. While that's cooling down the fruit cocktail, I'm going to bring you down so we can feel this pears up. Okay? Okay, y'all, so I got my 3 jars here, and we're getting ready to start this filling of the pears. Okay? Got my pot right here in front of me. Get it as close as I can because it is hot, and we're getting ready to fill these up. Let's see how many we can get in. 1/2 inch headspace. Okay, we're going to do the next one. See what we're working with. Y'all, when y'all get on the road doing this, your pantry will fill up. You don't have to go back to the store and get anything because you're getting more. Getting more. Put some juice in here. Half-inch headspace. Okay, let's see what the next one is. Let's see if it will do it. Scoop. Let's see. Alrighty then. Okay, then you're going to take your towel or paper towel. And you're going to wipe your rims. Make sure the sugar water is not on top of your rims. This jar is hot. Okay. Check and see if there's any cracks or anything. Okay. All right. Now we're going to put our lids on. And now we're going to take this over here to the canner and get these started and take the other ones out. So now that we got the pears in there, we're going to start adding our quarts with these pears. And it'll be the same time due to my elevation, 25 minutes. So before we get this run going, I'm going to show you what I'm doing right now. Okay, honeybees, so as you can see, got the apricots inside this pot, and I made me a rind, and this time I got a medium rind with the sugar, and so I used 3 1/4 cups of sugar to 5 cups of water. Now I'm waiting for this to come to a good boil, and then I'm going to turn it down and let it simmer on down for 5 minutes. And then we'll get ready to can those up in quart jars. Okay? Okay, family. So I thought about coming back on here so that way you can see what's going on. Now, while it's going to a boil in a few moments, as you can see, this right here, the film, I might not be using the right word or whatever, but you can skim that off. All that is sugar. That's all that is. It's nothing but sugar that just came to the top surface. It's nothing wrong with it. You can just do it like that, or you can just leave it as is, and that's fine too. So I just wanted to come on here and tell you that. Okay, y'all. So you see I got the 4 jars. They're good and hot. You're going to still need the same supplies. Rinse and wash as you go. Okay? And so now we're going to start filling these quart jars up. And we're going to see how many we can get filled. I said 4 because I'll need 4 more jars to go ahead and start the process with those pears and with these apricots. And so, yeah. And also, I want to tell you too, is with this, you could take these same fruits and make you some jams and jellies out of it. If you want to do it like that, you could also make you some pie filling, you know what I'm saying, with this as well. So, yeah, just want to tell you that. So you need a 1/2 inch headspace on all of those. You see there's pieces and there's whole pieces in here as well. And that's fine too. I'm just ready to get those other cans off my shelf and preserve the and have a longer shelf life by doing it like this as well. So yeah, this is well worth it, and I'm happy, very happy. Okay, do the next one. These jars are very hot, so I'm going to move this pot over to the opposite side. I'm not touching those jars because they're too hot. And you know, and also if you don't have enough fruit, that's fine too. That's fine too, because you can still fill your jars up and have you some apricot juice or whatever. And that way it can go in a recipe as well. So, don't even worry about that. And I'm just going to pick up this pot and pour what's left on it. Yeah, just like that. Put this over here to the side. Take that off. And get my towel. And we're going to wipe these jars. And be careful because these jars are very hot. Very hot. Wipe them really good because you don't want no sugar or anything to keep it from sticking, your lids sticking on here. So you want to wipe this really good. And as you're wiping, feel around for those cracks as well. Okay. Now we're getting ready to put our lids on and get it and take it over there to the canner for it to be processed, and I'll take you here in a few moments. Okay, honeybees, now that we got our pears and we got our apricots in here, now we're getting ready to put the lid on here. Make sure nothing is touching. Make sure your water has 2.5 quarts in here. And then we're going to put the lid on and get ready to start this cycle as well for 25 minutes. Make sure you got everything aligned like it's supposed to. Make sure the vent is back here. Make sure your fruit saver or your canner or everything, your water is above at least 2 inches above the top if you're using a water bather. I'm using a canner, so I will have to use 2.5 quarts of water in here. And so now we're getting ready to start our canner, steam canner. Put it up here to 9, and wait for it to hit my time on my elevation, and then I'll start my timer for 25 minutes. When this is done, I'll take this out and I'll show you the complete product of all the stuff that I was able to jar up. So there you have it, honeybees. We got 7 pints of fruit cocktail, 3 quarts of apricots, and 3 pints of pears. Now, if you've seen that little shot of those pears all the way up to the top, it's going to eventually float down and fill in. That middle one that has less pears in it, that's fine. As long as it's got that juice and it's up there at that halfway mark, you're good. And I am so pleased that I was able to get all that done. Now, y'all come back tomorrow. Or no, let's see, not tomorrow. Come back Sunday and I'll have a whole bunch more to go, okay? More. So, y'all, I hope y'all like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below. And also, another tip. Don't forget, label your jars after 24 hours, 12 to 24 hours. Make sure it's completely cool. Make sure that you take your bands off. Check and see if it's sealed. If it has not sealed, make sure, did you hear the popping noise? That's one. But if it does not seal, you can put it in the refrigerator, or you can wait 24 hours and redo the whole process all over again. Okay? So, and it's good to go. When you put it in the refrigerator, you can eat it right away. Just put it in the refrigerator. But if you want to do it all over again, the processing, that's fine. Just do it again, and then put it on your timer, and then do it again. Change the lids and everything else on there as well. Okay, y'all? So, y'all make sure y'all have yourself a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.